Hello friends, welcome to my channel. This is part 7 linear algebra MT2. So before going to the questions, let's just understand what is the orthonormal basis and Gram-Schmidt rule. Okay, so just ignore the scratches and focus on the topic. Sorry for the scratches. So suppose two vectors are there, v1 vector and v2 vector. Okay, on a plane I'm taking v1 vector and v2 vector, and these two are jointed. Okay, so these two are jointed on a point. These two are adjacent, you can say. Okay, so this is the first case and the second case. That means if they are adjacent, then there must be some angle they are creating, right? So it may be theta or it may be 90 degree. 90 degree. Okay, theta means it's less than 90 degree. I have took here. You can take this more than 90 degree also. Okay, so the main thing I'm just trying to say you that the angle is 90 degree or other than 90 degree. This is the first case, other than 90 degree, and the second case is 90 degree, right? So what do you mean by orthogonal? If two vectors are perpendicular to each other, then we can say that these vectors are orthogonal. But if they are not 90 degree, if the angle is not 90 degree, then those are not orthogonal. Now we know the dot product, right? So what is dot product? Look, v1 vector dot v2 vector gives v1 dot v2 cos theta, right? So this is our dot product, and you know this one already. So if the angle is 90 degree, then you know that cos 90 is 0, so v1 dot v2 cos 90 will become 0, right? So if any two vectors are given, then how can we know that these two are orthogonal or not? We can find the dot product. If the dot product is 0, then these two are orthogonal, else these are not orthogonal. Okay, now one more thing, norm or length of a vector. So actually the norm means length. So we know that length of a vector, what is it? But norm means also the same. So if the question is to find the length of a vector, then how can we find out? Look, here two-dimensional vector has been given. So length or norm of the vector is within square root a square plus b square. Suppose it is a b c, then it will be within square root a square plus b square plus c square, right? Okay, now we understood what is orthogonal, and we understood what the norm is, right? So what is orthonormal basis of the vectors? The vectors which are orthogonal and also the length is 1. Okay, length is 1 means that should be a unit vector, right? That means those vector will be orthonormal vectors or orthonormal basis. So just have a look at this. Okay, so a set of vectors is called orthonormal if these vectors are orthogonal as well as the norm or length is 1. Okay, example, a vector has been given here, v1 vector and v2 vector. So when I am finding out the length of this v1 vector, it is 1, and length of the v2 vector is 1. Also v1 dot v2 vector is giving us 0. That means the vectors are orthogonal and the vectors have the length as 1. That means these are the orthonormal basis or orthonormal vector. Now remember the standard basis of the two-dimensional, it is 1 0 and 0 1. Right, now you can check the length of this is 1, the length of this is also 1. Now the dot product is also 0. That's why they are called the standard basis. So why they are called the standard basis? Look, we can take anything as basis or anything as orthonormal basis, right? But these are the unique. Remember, as we were taking in the canonical form, the symmetrical distribution was the unique, right? So here this is the basic. So in three-dimensional, the standard basis is 1 0 0 0 1 0 0 0 1, right? Next, so in the case the vectors are not orthogonal, that is not perpendicular to each other, then we can resolve a vector into two component vectors. One will be parallel to that vector and the other will be perpendicular to the other vector. Now this is what we have gone already in the physics, okay, in +2. So example, given two vectors a vector and b vector are there. Now a vector is towards x-axis and b vector is not orthogonal to this, right? Because the angle is not 90 degree. Hence we can resolve the b vector into two components. One will be b cos theta, which is towards this direction. That means the b cos theta will be parallel. So one of the component will be parallel to the other vector, a vector, and one of the component will be perpendicular to the other vector, that is b sin theta, which is perpendicular to a vector. Okay, now So in this case, what do you mean by this component? This component means that we can project this vector on the A vector in parallel wise, or we can project this vector here. What do you mean by projection? Look, so next topic, projection of a vector. Projection means presentation of an image on a surface. Okay, so to produce image we need to throw some rays. Example, suppose B vector is there, and in this side if I am lighting up a torch, then this B vector will create an shadow on the A vector, right? That means this B vector will produce an image here. Okay, so that is the projection of B vector which is parallel to the A vector. And if I will project the light here, then this will create an image here. Okay, so this is the projection. Now, so let if we will hold and flash torch light on B vector, then the projection or image of B vector will fall on A vector. That's what I told you. Look, suppose this much is the projection of B vector. Okay, so the portion of shadow on A vector is known as projection of B vector on A vector. Okay, so let the angle be theta. Okay, let this angle be theta. Now we know that cos theta is equals to base by hypotenuse. So what is the base here? This is the base. The projection is the base, right? And this is the projection towards x-axis. Okay. So cos theta is equals to projection of B vector towards x-axis. Okay. And this hypotenuse, which is the length, that is B vector. So projection of B vector on A vector will give you B vector cos theta. Okay. Now we also know a relation about, this is the A vector, so we also know a relation about A vector and B vector, that dot product of any two vector is, we also know that A vector dot B vector is equals to A vector dot B vector cos theta. Now in this form we can find cos theta is equals to this much. Okay, so we can replace the value of cos theta here in this equation right here. So we can replace the cos theta here. So after replacement I got this much. So B vector and B vector got cancelled out. So A vector dot B vector divided by A vector magnitude. Okay, so if I am taking this as alpha, let A vector dot B vector divided by A vector magnitude is equals to alpha. Then alpha is the scalar quantity, right? Because this will only give us a scalar multiple. Okay, but if we need to find out the vector, that means just understand that this is the length, right? So this, the magnitude is coming here, this alpha is the magnitude here. Okay, but we have to show the projection of B vector on A vector. That means we have to show this vector, right? Now if we know this unit, if we know this magnitude, so if we will multiply the magnitude and the unit vector means this will show us just the direction. So we just need to show the direction. Okay, and if we will multiply the scalar quantity and the vector, then we will get this vector of projection B vector on A vector. Now, so just how can we understand that easily? Look, so we know in Cartesian coordinate plane the standard bases are 1 0 and 0 1. Okay, so if we need to find out a vector of length 5, okay, in x-axis, this is a Cartesian coordinate plane. Okay, and we know the unit vector is 1 0, right? That means this is the unit vector, this is the point it is showing 1 0, and this point is showing 0 1. Okay, and unit vector just shows us the direction. So this is showing the direction towards this, and this is showing the direction towards this. Now I took a vector which is of length 5. So how can I find the vector here? If I will multiply 5 with this unit vector, then I am getting the vector here. Suppose this is the point 5 and 0. So this is the vector. I can find it out, right? So if we have the magnitude and the unit vector, then we can find the vector. Just like that, this is the magnitude or the scalar quantity, right? And what is the vector? This is the, so this is just the magnitude. Okay, if I am multiplying the unit vector with it, then this will show us the vector. So look, similarly, alpha is the scalar multiple or the length of the projection of B vector on A vector, but the direction is towards the A vector. That means we can find the unit vector, that is A vector divided by magnitude of A vector. So this is the unit vector of A vector. We know this to find it out before also. So hence the projection of b vector on a vector is equals to the length multiply the unit vector. So what is the length? The length is a vector dot b vector divided by this much. Now if you are writing in this form, then this will be easier, but if you want to just by heart the formula, you can write like this also: a vector dot b vector, this will give us a scalar quantity, divided by a magnitude of a vector square, this will also give us the scalar quantity, only this is the vector, right? If you can remember this, or you can just understand this one so that you can use it easily anytime, no need to remember. Now what are the orthonormal bases? If two vectors are given, a vector and b vector, and they are not orthogonal to each other, but we need to find out an orthogonal vector, then we will project one vector on other, right? Then we can resolve the vector into two components, which is also known as image or projection of that vector. Here I have taken b vector. Remember, here b vector is not orthogonal to a vector. That means there are two possible projections, right? So look, we know that there will be two projections. Okay, one will be parallel to a vector and other will be perpendicular to a vector. As we need to find the orthonormal vector, we should go for the perpendicular one. We always need to find out this one, right? And this are parallel, no? So this, if I'm finding out this and this, both will be equal because these are equal in magnitude and also directions are same. Okay, so from previous discussion we got this AC is equals to, this is the projection of b vector on a vector, we got this much, this is AC, right? And what is the AB vector is the magnitude of this b vector. Okay, sorry, AB, and AB is what? AB is the b vector. So to find the BC, we know that AB minus AC. Okay, so what is the AB? AB is the b vector minus, and AC is this much. Okay, so I have to replace it. So in this way I can find out this orthonormal, look, this orthogonal vector. I can find out this orthogonal vector, right? So basically I need to find out the orthogonal vector, and to find out this orthogonal vector, this is similar to this. To find out, I need to know this, and this is what, this is the projection of this b vector on x-axis. Okay, that's why we just first understood what is this and how can we evaluate this. After we got this, we can subtract AB and this to get this much, right? So whatever the vectors we are finding out, whatever the vectors we are resolving, that vector minus projection of that vector, okay, on another vector. Now look at an example having three vectors. So for three vectors, a vector, b vector, c vector, look, here a vector is there, b vector is there. Suppose this is the c vector. Okay, this is something like this. Three vectors given means this is three dimensional, right? The three dimensional vectors I have taken. So suppose this is c vector. Okay, so first we will project this b vector on a vector. Okay, so first look, I took this a vector as constant. Okay, that means first I fixed this a vector. Now on this a vector, b vector is not orthogonal, right? That means first we will try to project this b vector on a vector, and I will try to find out the projection of b vector on a vector along this perpendicular, remember? Okay, so to find out, we have to project this b vector on here. Okay, this is the projection of b vector towards x-axis. So to find out this is equal to this. So this vector, okay, b vector minus projection of b vector on a vector. Look, so to find out this BC, okay, b vector minus, because we are projecting the b vector minus projection of b vector on a vector. This is the formula I just told you. Okay, so after that I can find the BC vector, right? That means I can find this vector. Now a vector and b vector are perpendicular, but there is a c vector like this, something like this. We need to find the perpendicular like this, right? Remember this one, this rule. Okay, so we have x and y, we have to find out the z. Okay, so suppose this is not 90 degree, okay, this is some random theta, so we have to find out the projection. Now we will find out some c vector, or we will find out the projection of c vector on A and B both, right? Because this vector needs to be perpendicular with A vector and needs to be perpendicular with B vector. So how can I find out the projection of C vector on B1 vector and A vector? Because now we are not considering this B vector because this is not orthogonal, right? First we found out the orthogonal vector B vector, that is on A vector. So now we will consider this B vector. Now whatever the C vector we will find out perpendicular. Okay, now whatever the C vector we have, we will project that on A vector also on this B1 vector. This will be B1 vector. So we will try to project this C vector on A vector and B1 vector so that all the three will be orthogonal, right? So whatever the B vector, now we will not consider that one because we found out the orthogonal one to A vector. So what vector is orthogonal to A vector? This is B1 vector. Now we will find the projection of C vector on B1 vector and A vector, and we will not consider this B vector anymore. Okay, so C1 vector, I gave that name as C1 vector, but because C vector is at any angle theta, right? So we will find out the projection of C vector. Okay, so let this projection of C vector is C1 and we will project the C vector on B1 vector and A vector. So before also whatever the vectors we are projecting, that vector minus, so now we are projecting C vector. So C vector minus projection of C vector on B vector, projection of C vector on A vector. Before also we did it projection of B vector. This is what? Projection of B vector on A vector. But now we are projecting on 2. So this is projection of C vector minus B vector minus projection of C vector minus A vector. Okay, now we can put the formula. Remember, this will be whatever the vectors are here, that look here, A dot B vector divided by on which we are projecting, this is A vector, on which we are projecting the unit vector of that. That's why A vector divided by magnitude of A vector. And just remember this, whatever the magnitude of vector we are finding here, this will be here. Okay, so in this way, this will be what projection of C vector by B vector. Look, whatever vectors are given, dot product of that, and on which vector we are projecting B vector. That means we need to find out the unit vector of that, and whatever is here that will become. Okay, so this is easier to remember. This one will also the dot product of C and A. Okay, and we are projecting on A vector. So unit vector of A vector. Now this will be repeated here. So no need to remember anything. Okay. So now the new orthogonal vector will come, this one. So now come to the question answer. So these are the previous year question paper. So I have collected this from previous year question papers. So first thing, it has been given that check whether the basis B vector is equals to this much is an orthogonal basis or not. Okay, then apply Gram-Schmidt orthogonalization process to B, that means these bases, and obtain an orthonormal basis for R cube with respect to a standard inner product of R cube. Now in standard inner product means the dot product, okay, that I just told you, that is the inner product. So this process I told you, this is the Gram-Schmidt orthogonalization process. So after you found out the vector, you need to find out the unit vector, that means the vector whose length is 1. Okay, now you know that if any vector is given, then you can find the unit vector like this. Okay, as you found the unit vector here, you found the unit vector here. So in this case, the first vector we made it constant is A vector. Then second vector we found out is B1 vector orthogonal to A vector. Third vector we found out C1 vector, which is orthogonal to this 2 vector. That means these 3 are orthogonal to each other. Now how can we find out the orthonormal basis? These are the orthonormal basis. Okay, so let's just have a look at the first question. So these are the ordered bases given. I took this as V1, V2 and V3. Now we have to find out that whether they are orthogonal or not. As we know that V1 dot V vector is equals to V1 dot V2 cos theta. If the theta is 90 degree, then this whole value will be 0 as cos 90 is equals to 0. That means if V1 and V2 are orthogonal to each other, that means the angle between them is 90 degree, then this value will come 0. That means the dot product of V1 and V2 is 0. So we will find out first V1 dot V2, V2 dot V3 and V1 dot V3. Okay, how? Look, you can just make it a circle like this, V1 and V2, V2 and V3, V3 and V1. Okay, So I found out the dot product of v1 and v2. So as you know, the first element multiply first element of this plus second element multiply second element of this plus third element multiply third element of this, and I got here 0. Just like that, v2 dot v3 gives us 1, v3 dot v1 gives us -1. That means this v1 and v2 are orthogonal to each other. That means the angle between them is 90 degree, right? So no need to project this v2 on v1. If we will project also, we will get this only, the perpendicular projection. The next thing is v3. As v3 is not orthogonal to v2, okay, look, the value is not 0, and v3 is not orthogonal to v1 as dot product is not 0. Okay, so we have to project the v3 on v1 and v2. So let this be v3. Okay, we have to project this v3 on v1 and v2. So let this be the perpendicular projection of v3. Now understand that if you will take this v1 as the first orthogonal basis w1, okay, and you will try to project this v2 on v1 also, you will get the same v2. Okay, you will get the same v2. So v1 and v2 are perpendicular to each other. Now we'll project the v3 on v1 and v2. So let the orthogonal vectors are w1, w2, w3. We know that v1 and v2 are orthogonal, hence w1 has been fixed and w2 is already orthogonal to this, and which is equals to v2. So now we just have to find out w3. Okay, so what was the formula? Whatever the vectors we are projecting, that vector. So here we are projecting v3. So v3 minus projection of v3 on v2 minus projection of v3 on v1. Now remember the formula, whatever is the dot product of these two vector, v3 dot v2 vector, now on which we are projecting the unit vector of that, and whatever we are writing you have to repeat here. Okay, same formula, same way you can use this to find it out. Now replace everything. Okay, now here you got v2 square and v1 square in the denominator. Now remember, if we are finding the, if a vector is equals to a, b, c, and we have to find out the length of the a vector, that is square root a square plus b square plus c square. Now if we will find square of both the side, then it will be a square is equals to a square plus b square plus c square. So same thing I have applied here, you can check. So after that I got this as w3. So now I got all the three orthogonal vectors. Now I have to find the orthonormal basis. How to find orthonormal basis? By finding the unit vector. So the orthonormal basis are this much. Okay, so you can find it out. So this is your orthonormal basis. You can check that the dot product of this two 0, this two 0, and this two also 0. All the vectors are unit. That means the length is 1. Now number 2, order basis has been given. Okay, now I apply this orthogonalization process to obtain orthonormal basis for CQ over C. Now as usual, basis, order basis has been given and we have to find the orthonormal basis. So I took this as v1, v2 and v3. Okay, now I found out the dot product and I got that v1 and v2 are already orthogonal to each other. Okay, so we need to project the v3 on v1 and v2. Look, v1 and v2 are orthogonal, but v1, v2, v3 are not orthogonal. So let the orthogonal basis are w1, w2, w3. So w1 is equal to this much. We need to fix a vector. So I fixed v1, and v2 is already orthogonal to this. If you want to find out, you will get the same. Okay, now this is w3 we need to find out, because we need to project this v3 on v1 and v2. So let this be w3, which is orthogonal to both v1 and v2. So w3 is equals to v3. We need to project the v3 on v2 and v1. That's why v3 minus projection of v3 on v2 minus projection of v3 on v1. Now you have to replace everything like this, and you can find what is w3 is. So this is my W3001. After that you need to find the orthonormal basis, and these are the orthonormal basis. You can find it in this way. Now this is number 3. In the number 3 also the ordered basis has been given. We have to find the orthonormal basis for RQ. So beta 1, beta 2 and beta 3. And look again, beta 1, beta 2 are the orthogonal, but beta 3 is not orthogonal to either beta 2 or beta 1. Okay, so beta 1 and beta 2 are orthogonal. So we have to find the orthogonal projection vector for beta 3 to beta 1 and beta 2. Let the projection vector of beta 3 on beta 2 and beta 2 is alpha. So alpha is equals to beta 3 minus projection of beta 3 on beta 2 minus projection of beta 3 on beta 1. So this is beta 3 and this is the formula you can apply, then you can find out. Okay, so this is beta 3 what you got. So the orthogonal bases are beta 1 and beta 2 and alpha. So orthonormal bases are in this form and you can find the orthonormal bases. So these are the given ordered bases. I took it as v1, v2, v3 vectors. Now I found out the dot product of v1 and v2, which is 2. Okay, that means these two are not orthogonal. Also v2, v3 are not orthogonal and v3, v1 are not orthogonal. That means neither of them is orthogonal. Okay, so these three are not orthogonal to each other. So let w1, w2, w3 are the orthogonal vectors. Okay, so first we will fix the v1. Okay, so w1 are orthogonal vector, w1 is equals to v1 because first we have to fix it. Okay, then we will project the v2 on this v1, right? Whatever the v2 is here, we will project that perpendicularly so that this projection vector is orthogonal to v1, right? So we will find this w2. So w2 is equals to, we know that we are projecting the v2. So whatever the vector are projecting, that vector minus projection of v2 vector on v1 vector. So this is the projection of v2 on v1 vector, we know this. This is the w2, that is projection of v2 on v1 perpendicularly. This is projection of v2 on v1 horizontally. Okay, so after that I found out w2 is equals to this much. Now v1 and w1, you can call this as w1 also. w1 and w2 are perpendicular to each other, that means orthogonal to each other. Now we will project the v3. However, the v3, suppose this is the v3. Okay, we have to project this v3 on both v1 and w2. So let it be w3. So we will project the v3. Okay, v3 on v1 and v3 on w2. You can call this as w1 also because both are same. Now we know these are the formula. Now put this, and so this much what I got is w3. Now we got the orthogonal basis. Now we can find out the orthonormal basis in this way. Now put it and get your orthonormal basis. Next question, apply Gram-Schmidt orthogonalization process to find an orthonormal basis for the subspace of C4 generated by the vectors this much. Okay, C means complex vector here, this vector space of complex vectors. Okay, so that's why it is C4 means dimension is 4, that's why 4 elements has been given. So these are the given vectors. Okay, and I found out the dot product, but only this came 0, which is v2 and v3. Okay, but v1 and v2 and v3 and v1 are not orthogonal to each other. So first we can fix the v1. So we fixed the v1. Okay, and we took, let w1 is equals to v1, then we will project the v2 on v1. So w2 is equals to projecting v2 on v1 perpendicularly, right? This one. So let it be v2. Okay, so we know that if we are projecting v2, then v2 minus this projection of v2 on v1. Okay, and we found out this much. This is my w2. Then we have to find out the w3. In w3 we will project the v3 on w1 and w2. So this is the formula, and check it out. So this is what we got, w3. So these are the orthogonal basis I got. Now we have to find out the orthonormal basis, and you know how to find it out, so just do it yourself. Next question. So check whether or not these three form an orthonormal basis of RQ. We know that any two vectors are orthonormal if their dot product is 0, that is they are orthogonal, and also if they are unit vector, that means the length is 1, then they are the orthonormal basis. So I took this v1, v2 and v3. These are the three ordered bases has been given. Then I found out the dot product. Look, the dot products are 0, that means they are orthogonal to each other. Now we will find out the length of those vectors, and those are 1, that means they are the orthonormal bases. Find an orthonormal basis for subspace. This much has been given. This is the relation of C4. So let's just see how to find it out, because here subspace has been given, so we need to first find out the ordered basis. So that is a subspace has been given, and anytime subspace will give, we can find the matrix or we can find the basis like this. So W is equals to this much has been given. Now this relation is given that x1 plus ix2 is equals to 0 and x2 plus x3 minus x4 is equals to 0. That means we can write minus ix2 in place of x1. Now from this equation, look, there is no relation, right? Okay, here we can write x4 is equals to x2 plus x3. Now look, we can also find the value of x2 from here and we can replace it, but there is no difference in that, because here we can represent the x4 in the form of x2 and x3 this time, and if we will replace this x2 with minus x1 by I, then this x4 will be represented by x1 and x3. That's it. Okay, so I am just keeping it like this. Now I will replace everything. So in place of x1 minus ix2, x2 will be x2, x3 will be x3, and x4 will be x2 plus x3. That means there are two variables, x2 and x3. Okay, so if I am taking the x2 common out, this will be minus I1 and there is no x2, so it will be 0. There is 1 x2 and coefficient is 1, so I wrote it 1. Now plus x3 is equals to, look, there is no coefficient for x3, no coefficient for x3, so 0 0. Coefficient for x3 is 1, then coefficient for x3 is 1. So two bases we got, this and this. Now we have to find, like, so we got the ordered basis now, so we have to check that whether they are orthogonal or not. So if they are not orthogonal, we have to find out the orthogonal basis and then the orthonormal basis. Okay, so here you can see that this will be 0, this will be 0, this will be 0, and this will be 1. That means the dot product is not 0. That means they are not orthogonal. So let the orthogonal bases are w1 and w2. So first we will fix this v1. So w1 is equals to v1 is equals to this much. Now we will project the v2 on v1. Okay, so we will find the perpendicular projection, that is w2 is equals to v2 minus projection of v2 on v1. Then we can replace it. Okay, after that we can find out the w2. So this is the w2, we got it. Now you can find the orthonormal basis for this by finding the unit length of w1 and w2. So do this on your own. Okay, so this is the number 8. Here ordered basis has been given and we have to find the orthonormal basis. Also to find the basis dual to B. So these are the ordered bases and you know how to find out the orthogonal and orthonormal basis, so you can do it. And also there is a question given that find the dual basis. I haven't teach in any video, so in the video I'll teach dual basis. I will explain this on that video. So thank you. So for this session, this is the last video and I will post other parts in next session. So your question was that whether you can score more than 60% or not, and my answer is that you can score more than 60%. If you, after going through my video, you have to open the previous year question and you have to practice that on your own again before the exam, so that you can attend the exam. And all the best for your exam. Thank you for watching my video.